Causes and effects. Hundreds of researchers have quizzed thousands of people of various ages and situations, trying to see what causes self-esteem, who has the most of it, how important it is, how it can be increased, and so on. Studies of young children show clearly that parents' style of child rearing during the first 3 or 4 years determines the amount of self-esteem that a child starts with. So, self-esteem in the beginning is given through parenting, or said differently, through nurturing. After that, most studies of older children, adolescents, and adults share a common confusion. What is cause and what is effect? Does academic success foster self-esteem? Or does self-esteem foster academic success? Interconnectedness. Does high social status cause high self-esteem, or does high self-esteem help you gain high social status? I would argue that it could be both ways. Do alcoholics drink because they hate themselves, or do they hate themselves because they drink? Do people like themselves because they do well in job interviews, or do they do better in interviews because they like themselves? These are classic chicken and egg questions. Yes. Just as eggs come from chickens and chickens come from eggs, it seems that self-esteem grows out of your circumstances in life, and your circumstances in life are influenced strongly by your self-esteem. Which came first? The question has serious implications for your success at raising your self-esteem. So, if external circumstances determine self-esteem, then all you have to do to improve your self-esteem is to improve your circumstances. Let's say you have low self-esteem because you never graduated from high school. You are short, your mom hated herself, you live in the slums, and you are 100 pounds overweight. All you have to do is go to night school and get your degree, grow about 6 inches, have been raised by a different mother, move to Beverly Hills, and lose 100 pounds. It's a change, right? But you know you will never make it. There's nothing you can do about your parents or your height. Your only hope is that things are the other way around, that self-esteem determines circumstances. So our only hope is that self-esteem determines circumstances. This means that if you improve your self-esteem, your circumstances will improve. And I could second that. So just stop hating yourself and you will get taller. Your mom will become somebody different, and those 100 pounds will evaporate like the morning dew. If you feel that this second scenario is also unlikely, you can be congratulated on a keen appreciation of the real world. The fact is that self-esteem and your circumstances are only indirectly related. There is another intervening factor that determines self-esteem 100% of the time. Your thoughts. Yes, our thoughts are the central aspect. For example, you look in the mirror and think, boy am I fat, what a slob. This thought clobbers your self-esteem. If you looked in the mirror and thought, well, alright, it looks good to wear my hair like this, the effect on your self-esteem would be the opposite. The image in the mirror remains the same, only the thoughts change. And the good thing is that we actually have a way to change our thoughts, and we will get deeper into that later. Or let's say that you are discussing the news, and when you make a remark about the right wing rebels, your nitpicking friend corrects you. No, you mean the left wing rebels. If you tell yourself, I really sound stupid, your self esteem will take a nosedive. You say, oh yeah, I've got to keep that straight next time. Your self esteem will not suffer so much. In either case, you don't change the circumstances, only how you interpret them. So it's about how you talk with yourself. Does this mean the circumstances have nothing to do with self esteem? No. Obviously, in the area of social status, bank vice presidents have more opportunity to feel better about their careers than cab drivers have. This is why a study of 100 vice presidents and 100 cab drivers will prove that the higher status job leads to higher self esteem. What is overlooked among the statistics is that there are some vice presidents who slaughter their self esteem by telling themselves, I should have been president of my bank by now. I'm a failure. Just as there are some cab drivers who feel good about themselves because they think, so, I'm just a cab driver. I'm putting bread on the table, the kids are doing good in school, things are going just fine. And yes, so this is about perception. How do we perceive and how do we talk with ourselves? And this book uses proven methods of cognitive behavioral therapy to raise your self-esteem by changing the way you interpret your life. It will show you how to uncover and analyze the negative self-statements you habitually make. You will learn how to create new, objective, positive self-statements that will foster your self-esteem instead of undermining it. So, how to use this book? This book is organized logically, with the most important and universally applicable material at the beginning. Chapter 2 introduces the pathological critic, the voice inside you that criticizes and keeps your self-esteem low. The next chapter deals with disarming the critic so that you can be free to begin raising your self-esteem without interference. Chapter 4 shows you how to make an accurate self-assessment of your strengths and weaknesses, an important first step in changing your self-esteem. Chapter 5 explains cognitive distortions, irrational ways of thinking that contribute to low self-esteem. Chapter 6 introduces the concept of compassion. Self-esteem is closely tied to compassion for others and compassion for yourself. Chapter 7 is about your shoulds, all the rules you have made for yourself about how you should act, feel, and be. Revising your shoulds is one of the most powerful ways to undo old negative programming. Chapter 8 shows how to handle mistakes by changing how you relate to error and by letting go of mistakes in the past. Chapter 9 teaches you how to react to criticism without losing your self-esteem or having to attack others. Chapter 10 covers asking for what you want, one of the most difficult tasks for people with low self-esteem. Chapter 11 shows how to set practical goals and make detailed plans for achieving them. Chapter 12 teaches powerful techniques of visualization, a way of setting and achieving self-esteem goals. Chapter 13 guides you in learning a simple self-hypnosis technique to reinforce affirmations you have created in earlier chapters. Chapter 14 is called I'm Still Not Okay and is designed to help you stop running away from pain while you develop an attitude of non-judgment. Chapter 15, Core Beliefs, will help you explore, challenge, and change deeply held convictions about your worth. Chapter 16 is for you if you have children. It explains what you can do to give your kids the priceless legacy of high self-esteem. Using this book is simple. Keep reading until you reach the end of chapter 3, Disarming the Critic. At that point, there is a chart for you to consult. It will direct you to an appropriate chapter to deal with specific problems you may have. If you want to learn about and improve your self-esteem in general, just read the book in sequence from start to finish. Benefiting from this book is not as simple as just reading it. You have to do some work. Many chapters have exercises to do and skills to learn. When the text tells you to close your eyes and imagine a scene from your past, you should actually close your eyes and do it. When the book says, on a separate piece of paper, list 3 situations in which you have felt inadequate, you really need to go find some paper and a pen that writes and sit down and list your 3 situations. There is no substitute for doing the exercises. Imagining yourself doing the exercises is not enough. Skimming through the exercises with the vague intention of coming back to them sometimes and trying them is not enough. Doing only the exercises that seem easy or interesting is not good enough. If there was a way to improve your self-esteem that was easier than doing exercises, it would be in this book. The exercises that are in this book are here because they are the best, easiest, and only way the authors know to raise self-esteem. You should take your time reading this book. It is densely packed with ideas and things to do. Read it at a pace that will let you absorb the contents fully. Self-esteem takes a long time to develop in the first place. You have spent your whole life developing the level of self-esteem you have now. It takes time to tear self-esteem down and it takes time to build it up. Make a commitment right now to take the time you need. My friends, take the commitment right now to take the time that you need. And we will do that together.